Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and all of you are safe and healthy. This is Radhika here, and this video is going to be about those who have a codependent husband who is very dependent on their narcissistic family system and basically who buy into the narcissistic in-laws all the time, buy into their ideas, their ideology, um, and who kind of attack their wife, that the wife has an issue but the in-laws do not. So the suggestion for this video was given by one of the subscribers and viewers of this channel, so thank you for that. So this is a very common scenario, and even in my clients, many people are in this boat. So first things first, understand that you are not alone. You are not the only person who's going through this. There are others who are also in a similar situation like yours. And this is not to demean your situation or minimize it or make it seem small in any way, but this is so that you feel that you are not alone in this. There are many other women who are facing such issues in their marriage, where their husband has not completely developed a personality for themselves, and they are kind of codependent on their birth family. They cannot stand up for themselves in the birth family, or actually they don't even feel the need to stand up for themselves in the birth family, because they are so okay with the way things have been going on in their birth family, that they don't think there's anything wrong with it. So the case boils down a lot to conditioning, right? So your husband must have been brought up in this environment with this conditioning that you have to agree with what the elders are saying, and I don't hate being Indian. I don't dislike being Indian. I'm actually pretty proud of it. Many parts of it are really like something I feel proud of. But as every culture in the world, even Indian culture or the subcontinental culture, Southeast Asian culture has its pros and it has its cons, right? So one of the pros is that yes, we are taught to be very respectful, very generous and kind towards elders, because they lived through times which were definitely more difficult than the times that we are living in, and they went through a lot to give us the things we have today and to give us the life we have today. But some elders do take it to another extreme, where they feel like they can do whatever they want, they can say whatever they want, they can impose themselves, their opinions on others, right? So there's always a boundary to this, like till what point you can take this ideology or this sanskar or education that you have been given, right? So there are pros and cons to this, as in every culture, like sometimes some cultures individuate way too much, so they are very disrespectful and they don't at all respect other people's opinions, etc. So it's always good to walk a middle path. But unfortunately, if your husband is codependent on his birth family, that means he was not given the chance to individuate on his own, to have his own opinion, his own ideology, his own thoughts. And it is very possible that right now he might be too scared to suddenly change his point of view, right? So what the viewer has written is, how do we stay conscious in such a situation? Because more often than not, we will buy into what our husband is saying, what the in-laws are saying, etc., and we also let them break our boundaries again and again. So it's a really good question, and I can understand how difficult it is to live in such a situation. The only way I know of this is that you have to bring yourself to your center again. So, whenever anyone is making a request from you, you have to consciously check with yourself, am I okay doing this for this person? So, for example, you're a working woman, your in laws are here, and say there's a festival going on, and they ask you to make like three different desserts or three different main dishes or something like that. You can take a break, take a pause, think about it, that am I really comfortable doing so much of extra work along with my job, my kids, etc. If you think this is not possible for you, then bring it down. Like you can say, instead of three things that like you have asked me to make, say your mother-in-law asks you to make those, you can say, you know what, I will make one of them and two of them I will order them from outside, right? And she might then, like mumble a little bit, like, oh, women nowadays, they just want to get everything from outside. So you just have to let that go, right? Because you can't take on that burden on yourself to make all the three things by yourself. So you can just kind of tone down the request to a point where you are like, okay, this is acceptable to me, I can make that one dish, and the other things I will order. If she mumbles, that is not your problem. You cannot be a person who pleases everyone and has boundaries at the same time. So, when you are keeping a boundary, what you are doing is you're pleasing yourself over pleasing someone else, right? And if you have this expectation that everyone should be happy with me all the time, then maybe it's time you let go of that expectation a little bit and just keep the expectation that I should be okay with what I am doing all the time. So, when you start keeping this expectation, you will slowly give up the unsaid expectation, that everyone else has to be pleased with me all the time. And if you were in your childhood conditioned to be the ideal daughter, the ideal son, the ideal sister, the ideal whatever, you have to understand that your conditioning might have been since your childhood, that everyone can demand things off of me and I have to fulfill those demands and be an ideal person. So, if you have this idealized image of yourself that I need to be perfect, you have to slowly start giving up on it, because no one is perfect and neither are you. Everyone is human, everyone is going to make mistakes, and so will you. So, the sooner and the more consistently you start bringing in these thoughts in your brain, that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to say no, I don't have to be perfect all the time, everyone doesn't have to like me all the time, I can be hated and still survive, you know. So you might also have to little by little start giving up on the people pleaser tendencies that you might have developed over time, and that will help you put up more boundaries. The more you stop caring what your mother-in-law thinks of you, or your sister-in-law thinks of you, or what your in extension, what your boss thinks of you, what your son's school principal thinks of you, etc., etc., it never ends. Slowly you will start realizing you even care about a stranger who looks at you weird. You'll be like, why did he look at me that way, or why did she look at me that way? And you might not even know that person, but your people pleasing might take you to such a degree of anxiety where you're always worrying about how people are perceiving you. So you kind of have to give up on that tendency little by little. And as you start giving up on that tendency, people will also stop demanding things of you when you tell them no many times, because energetically they will sense that she's not going to allow me to cross her boundary, or she's not going to say yes to this. So why should I embarrass myself again and again by asking her for something which she's not going to do? So the sooner you start doing this practice of disappointing people, slowly you will start realizing that you can stay more conscious, you can stay more in your balanced energy, not overworked, not overtired, not always trying to, please everyone or perceive what everyone thinks of you. Slowly you will start becoming more balanced, and these people who are demanding things of you will also slowly start backing off, because it is an energetic reality. So because you have the potential that I will let you break my boundary, you are potentially attracting people who will break your boundary. But when you become a person who's very firm on boundaries and you say, no, you cannot break my boundary, you will start attracting people who do not even want to break your boundary. They are living their own life, they have their own boundaries. When you come together, it is mutual that, okay, let's meet at this time, I will get this, you will get this, and everything is mutually respected on each side, right? So just try to practice this and see if that helps. So that was this video. I hope this helped you in some way. As always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.